Author and businessman Robert Kiyosaki, who has co-authored 2 books with Donald Trump. Bob, good to see you. Thanks very much for joining us. Is Trump at risk of losing support?
Well, he's always at risk. But if I could say, Donald Trump and I got together as educators about 15 years ago. We could see this economic crisis coming. And we see the crisis as a crisis in education, asking why is there no financial education in our school systems? You know, everybody talks about this gap between the rich and the poor, and on one side they talk about, you know, giving people money or, you know, giving people fish. Well, we see the gap as a cause. The way we fix the gap is by teaching people to fish. So that's why Donald and I got together, and he'd make a great president as an educational president.
Geraldo, you just met, tell us who you just met with on the immigration side and on the Hispanic group.
Jose Palomares is the head of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. It represents over 3 million Hispanic-owned businesses. Obviously, this meeting took place in the context of Donald Trump saying some, in my view, draconian things to deal with the admitted gigantic problem with undocumented immigrants in this country. Trump wanting to build a wall, Trump characterizing Mexican immigrants as druggies and rapists and so forth. So Trump wanted to heal a rift. Trump is by far the least popular Republican candidate for the Hispanic vote. So you suggest that Trump wants to do business. Trump had a meeting yesterday at Trump Tower here with Jorge Palomares, the head of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and they agreed essentially to disagree. They were going to have further conversations. At one point, Trump offered to host the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce at Doral in Miami. That offer was turned down. Do you think that Trump has the flexibility, as the businessman that you suggest he is, to understand that he cannot win without the Latino or some percentage of the Latino vote? Will he have the guts, uncharacteristic flexibility to change or modify his opinions about the wall and forced deportation of even citizen children, for example?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, immigration is an international problem, and America has the worst problem of all. I think our stats are up 80%. You know, people are running from Africa, South America, as well as Asia. And at least he's saying something. I don't like what he characterized my Mexican friends as. You know, that was not bright, since 1 out of 6 Americans is of Latino heritage. But he does bring to issue a very serious problem, which is mass immigration throughout the world, and at least he's saying something and doing it. I don't like what he said about my Hispanic friends, though.
Which is why he's in the lead. He's saying what some people believe to be true, and they are sick and tired of the inaction by the establishment. Monica Crowley, you're working on a big column coming out tomorrow in the Washington Times, where you're going to break news about Hillary.
Yeah,
how does
not on Donald Trump.
Yeah, how does this fit into this conversation?
Well, I mean, I actually, before we get into that, Maria, I just wanted to ask Bob, because you've worked with Trump. Seems to me that Donald Trump's appeal is more based on his attitude and his approach and his energy rather than ideology. And, you know, when Maria lays out his shifting positions, and I don't actually think he's been a principled conservative his whole life, but I think a lot of people just don't care at this point. Now, that may change as we get close to actually spending our votes, but for now, just people don't change. They want a fighter. And that, I think, is something that you've seen with Donald Trump, right?
I agree wholeheartedly. He's also a very kind, nice, funny guy, working with him for about 15 years now. Unfortunately, you know, everybody's been asking for change. Well, if Donald Trump is elected, there will be change. You may not like the change, but there will be change.
Well, what kind of change?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He'll shake up the bag, and a lot. My concern for my friend Donald Trump is he's stepping on a lot of big toes. And I'm sure right now the knives are being sharpened.
Robert, are you going to vote for him?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's a great man. Let me just say this much. Donald Trump knows how to make money. All the other candidates, whether Republican, Democratic, or Independent, all they know how to do is spend money. We need a president who knows how to make money, and that's why I'm voting for him.
Robert, he also knows how to blow money up. Don't forget he's gone bankrupt, not just once. So, like, when you talk big time like he talks, and the point that you said, stepping on people's toes, how does Mr. Big Time do when he meets, somebody who's also big time who does not appreciate the toe stepping?
He didn't go bankrupt.
That's what is concerning me. And the thing about bankruptcy, part of financial education is he went bankrupt business-wise. He didn't go bankrupt personally.
Yeah,
and when most people think of bankruptcy, because they have no financial education, all they know is personal bankruptcy, not corporate bankruptcy.
Yeah, I get that. But if you get somebody who's maybe more big time, imagine that. Somebody like Howard Schultz, who has not taken his company into bankruptcy, who also has political aspirations. Well, how would he do against him in a real debate?
I think Trump would be well welcomed. He would speak for the person who is frustrated, sick and tired of politics, and sick and tired of talk and no action.
Right.
Trump will shake things up. Again, it's change that people want. Unfortunately, the change may upset many, many people.
Yeah, absolutely.